All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to our What is Coaching info call. I'm so excited to have you all here. We host this call once a month, really to answer a lot of frequently asked questions about coaching. I know for me, I always kind of looked at network marketing as like, oh, good for you, but not for me. Like, I would look at the qualities of what network marketing could do in someone's life, the time freedom, the financial freedom, like, the trips, things like that. And I was like, I love all that, but I don't know if it's for me. And I think that that's such a common fear for so many people. So we love to do these calls once a month. And you're going to hear from three different coaches tonight. They're going to share a little bit about them, a little bit about their coach journey, and then we're going to dive into some frequently asked questions. I want to say, guys, first off, my name's Courtney, for those of you that don't know me, and I started a team called The Sisterhood with my sister Erin. And I want to share with you guys that who you join really matters. When people enroll as a Beachbody coach, they don't really know how this whole thing works, but it's really important to join a supportive team, and a team that focuses on growth and training and is committed to this business. And Erin and I, alongside a really large group of leaders, like we have, I think, 30 diamond leaders, 30 plus diamond leaders that help build this team, that help train this team together. And that's what you're going to hear. Those are the people you're going to hear from tonight. And that's what you get when you join. No matter who invited you to this call, they are part of our team and we do this together. And I really want to impress with you that it matters who you join. So welcome to this call, ladies, gentlemen, and I wanted to open it up by introducing Erin Gearward. She is going to share her story first.
Hey everyone, thank you guys all so much for coming. Honestly, like almost 40 of you on here tonight. We value your time so much. So really grateful for you guys all tuning in. So I am Erin G. I've been coaching now for about a year and a half, which is so crazy because it feels like both a lot longer than that and no time at all. And so honestly, I just wanted to come on and share a little bit of my story with you because my life has completely changed since becoming a coach. I had my second baby in the pandemic, like so many of us did. He was born 4 days before it all kind of went down. And I was at like the lowest point in my health and fitness ever. I had some really unhealthy coping mechanisms with the stress of the pandemic, and I just really wasn't showing up as the mom that I wanted to be to him and my older daughter. I was drowning in that like postpartum life, kind of feeling that like postpartum anxiety creeping back in. I was tired. I gained almost 100 pounds between my pregnancies. And I just really didn't know what to do. And I was seeing all of these like vibrant women online. There was one in particular that really stood out to me. And so I asked her what she was doing, and it was this. And I signed up and I was like, if I have just like a fighting chance to be like half as happy looking as you, I want it. So I jumped in. And really quickly, like so many of us on this call, I started to get my spark back. I started to feel more like myself. I started to get that energy, that like zest for life. I started to want to wake up in the morning again. And I was really truly feeling my best. And people started asking me what I was doing. Friends of mine were commenting on how happy I looked. My mom, who doesn't comment on anything like that, it was like, what's going on? Like, what have you changed? You look amazing. You're vibrant. Like, I feel like you're my Erin again. And it had been a long time since I'd been her. And so the more people started asking, the more I started kind of questioning, like, why couldn't I do this? Like what's holding me back exactly? And there were a lot of things, fear of judgment and, definitely what other people think, time, all these things kept creeping in. But the one overarching thing for me was that I wanted other women to feel as good as I felt. I wanted other moms and other new moms especially to know that there was nothing different about me. I was just like them and that they could do this too. So that was why I decided to just go for it and to jump in and to create my own community every effort. And within a very short amount of time, I started to feel excited again. I had something just that I woke up to that made me feel challenged. I love my job that I have outside of coaching. You know, it is very fulfilling work, but I'm kind of at the peak of where I can go. You know, there's only so much that I can grow that business. And coaching had me waking up feeling challenged and challenging other women to feel their best too, while simultaneously making me work on becoming a stronger, better version of myself. And never before had I been given a role, a professional role especially, that forced me to put myself first. And the coolest thing for me was that I got exactly what I wanted. I got the fact that I was watching other women do the same, and the joy that I started feeling and still feel a year and a half later when I have a woman message me, you know, a transformation picture of herself and say, like, because you invited me to do this, my whole entire life has changed. That is a sense of fulfillment like I cannot describe to you. Okay, there's a lot of reasons to join, but that alone for me has kept me going throughout the last year and a half. I've kept a book of wins, I call it. That was something that we were encouraged to do in this industry, is keep a book of all the amazing things that happened to you. And that started happening right at the beginning of my coaching journey and still happens every week. I get a beautiful message from a woman who, you know, maybe I was scared to invite, but I did. And she's ultimately telling me that because of her, because of my bravery in inviting her, everything has changed for her. I once heard a quote that one of the top leaders in this industry said, and she said, "Save a mama, save a family." And I knew that that was very, very much the case for my own story. I feel like when I joined this community and these programs, everything changed for me. And as a byproduct of that, everything changed for my entire family. But I didn't know that I was going to be responsible for doing that for other people. So that's truly been amazing. I also didn't know that so many people would join me. I was like, so many of you on this call was like, who am I going to inspire? I'm this like boring mom. You know, I live in my sweatpants or my leggings. I've got a top knot, like nothing glamorous is going on. It was a pandemic. Like there's nowhere to go, nothing to show. But the thing is, if you're a boring mom or a boring dad, other people out there are too, and they want to see people just like themselves showing up every single day. And so that was really cool. I didn't feel like one of those vibrant women that I was seeing online, but that alone was resonating with other people. And so I started to grow this community. I stepped out of that like just 9 to 5 kind of like drowning in mom life, and I had something that was just for me, which is so, so, so cool. This has allowed me to dream big outside of just dreaming for my family. You know, I love them. I'm sitting in my kids' playroom right now. They are my absolute world. But for so many years, I was caught up in just that life, just dreaming for them, just wanting more for them. Like, what about us? Like, what about me and my dreams? And like, where did all of those go? And from the moment that I started coaching, I was encouraged to start thinking about what those were. What were my goals? My leader in this, Courtney, is my coach, and she would encourage me from day one to set goals. And I hadn't set a goal in a really long time before she pushed me to do that, honestly. And when I started setting them, I started hitting them. And little by little, I was starting to feel so accomplished. And it was just me doing this. I was accomplishing stuff outside of that, like kind of mundane mom life. So that was really incredible. And the last thing that I kind of want to mention is something that I've never really brought up on a team call, but I think it's so important because Courtney touched on it just quickly, is the team. When I walked into this, I really thought I was doing it by myself. I had no idea how it worked. I kind of swore up and down that I was like never going to enter into the network marketing space. And in a year and a half, I can honestly tell you that I have made some of the best friends that I think I will carry with me for the rest of my life. Looking at some of the women and some of the faces on this call, these are women that I talk to every single day. And when you're spending your time with human beings, men and women alike, who are just positive, uplifting, happy, wanting more for themselves, wanting more for you, things change. And I was somebody who has been I've had the same friend group since kindergarten. Like I've grown up, in Ottawa, you know, where all of my friends still are and they're all wonderful people, but I just didn't know how it could be different. People who push you to be your best self, and people who, you know, my business ultimately has nothing to do with theirs, and they still challenge me and want more for me and, you know, encourage me and work with me to become better. And that's been really incredible. Together over the last year and a half alone, we've traveled together to some amazing places. I've gone on trips and it feels like I'm in the room with my best friends that I've known for life. So that has been the most incredible gift of coaching for me, is looking at some of the faces that you see on this call tonight. So I'm going to keep it tight. I'm going to pass this off to Andrea to share a little bit about her story.
Okay, thanks so much, Erin. And honestly, like, so much of what Erin said, basically, I resonate with so much. My story is a little similar to hers, how I got started. I started just as a challenger 2 and a bit years ago. I was just coming off of mat leave. I was just coming off my third baby. I was on mat leave, and my daughter had health issues that really kind of threw our family for a lurch. We were in and out of the hospital weekly. She was going to need surgery. There was all these things that I was not prepared for, especially for my third baby. And it affected me physically. Like I didn't gain weight, so that was not the reason why I was joining. I had no weight to lose, but I was physically or mentally and emotionally drowning. I can't even think back to those times because my life was basically a blur. I don't even know when I ate, what I ate. Like my whole life was focused around this baby and her getting better, right? So my life was turned upside down on the flip of a coin. And I had no idea how I was going to get my life back. And I had no focus except for my daughter for the first like 6 months of her life. And then her health started turning around, and it really hit me like a ton of bricks that my health was actually the one that I had been neglecting. And I was feeling not like at my lowest point I've ever felt, nothing like myself. So I thought, okay, I've been watching a bunch of these coaches online, like Courtney and Aaron went to my high school. So I had them on Facebook, and Courtney had asked me to join. And I said, you know what? Why not? My whole life, I'd always wanted to prioritize my health. I just didn't know how. So I thought, let's try this, right? I had tried so many things before. And I think I can speak for a lot of women, especially, and men, everyone on this call, especially ones that are coaching. It changed your life, and you get this sense of needing to inspire and share with others. That's, I think, one of the main reasons why people take the leap into coaching. So for me, I've always wanted to be prioritizing my health. I just didn't know how. And when I started these programs, when I started actually looking at the nutrition and learning and all those things, I realized, oh my God, everything is this is exactly what you need in order to stay consistent. And I'll start by saying that I wasn't a big group person when I started. I didn't join the accountability groups. I didn't think I needed the community side. I had a couple of friends that were doing the same program as me, and we just kind of checked in over text, and that was enough for me because I was on my own journey, right? And everybody kind of starts in their own way. So for me, the actual community side of things wasn't as big of a pull, and a lot of people start for different reasons. So for the first, let's say 6 months, I have a very similar story to Erin in the sense that for the first 6 months, I really focused on my own journey. And by the time summer came around, people were asking what I was doing. They noticed a difference, not only in me being in probably the best shape I've ever been in my life, but also the fact that I was happier and I got my energy back and all the things, right? So I had a lot of friends ask me what I was doing and want to join, and I did not want to coach. I did not want to do network marketing. I didn't think it was for me. It's like a good for you, not for me type of situation. I thought in the back of my head for the longest time. So I basically said, all right, well, go sign up with Courtney, and then we can kind of have our own little group going. And I pushed it away. I did not want to listen to like the whispers in my head about how this could be a right fit for me. And I thought that the fear of what other people would think, the judgment that would come along with showing up on social media. I had never posted on social media. I had literally, if you go back to my Facebook, it's my kids' birthdays every year. That was it. That was all I posted. Not one story, not anything else about me. My social media was I didn't even know if I would be able to run it, right? So there was a lot of like self-limiting beliefs I had that I could even do it if I wanted to. But the biggest one for me was what other people thought. I was one of those people that would be like, oh, look what they're doing at one point in my life. So I knew if I was saying it with my friends, that one, my friends may say it about me, but also anyone else on the internet might say it about me. So I said, no, I did not coach. It was 6 months into my journey. I was ready. Like I had taken over my health. So I was feeling good about myself, but I did not coach. So fast forward another 6 months, I had this little group going. We were checking in. I was basically coaching them. They were asking me about nutrition. They were asking me about their containers. They were doing all, and I was like so eager to help them because I had found this passion and I wanted to share it, but I wouldn't coach. So for me, one of the biggest reasons why I took the leap was 2 reasons. One, I was going back to work after mat leave, and I was terrified that I was going to lose this passion I had found. I was terrified that what had kept me going through mat leave was going to be the thing that I let fall because life was going to get too busy. And I thought about how I could keep myself accountable, and honestly, fitting in coaching would be something that would keep me prioritizing my health, keep this passion and energy and this newfound energy that I had to help other people. It would keep that alive as well. So that was kind of in the back of my mind, but this fear of other people's opinion was massive for me. So I sat down with myself and I thought, you could, like, the whispers were getting louder and louder about, why can't I do this? Why can't I just try? And I thought, one day I sat down and thought to myself, if that is the only thing stopping you from trying to do something outside of your comfort zone, then that's kind of shitty, right? Like you're letting other people dictate your own life, and it's your life. So I basically said, I'm doing it. Like, I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna, very similar to Erin, start my own community, start inspiring women, like do this right from the get-go, treat it as a business and just go for it. Because I thought to myself, if I'm gonna step outside my comfort zone, if I'm gonna do something that I'm so worried about other people's opinions and judgments, I'm gonna go all in. Because at least if I go all in, that'll show that I'm serious about it, right? So I did it. And to close off my story, if this sounds like something that resonates with you, I urge you to think about we get one life, and how crappy would it be to regret some of the decisions we make just because of the potential judgment of others that may not even be happening. Like, let's be honest, everybody's busy in life and they're probably not even thinking about you. So I'm going to just leave it with that, because I think that was such a big aha moment for me. And I'll tell you, I've been coaching a year. Not one time have I regretted my decision, or it has actually changed the way I think about like judgment of others and feeling confident. I have more confidence. I care less about what people think because I'm showing up as myself. I'm doing something I'm passionate about, and it's giving me back life. So why would I care about what other people think about that, right? So that's all I have. I'm going to pass it over to Sarah for the next.
Awesome. Thanks, Andrea. Hey, everyone. My name is Sarah. I am a mom of 2 busy boys, 3 and 5. I also teach grade 8. And this is my favorite call to share on, because I never pictured coaching as something that would be a part of my life. And I've been doing this now for 2.5 years, and now I can't picture my life without having this as a huge part of it. So I'm going to share a little bit about how I got started. Like most of you, I was a client. Right? I started doing these programs. I was in a community, and I was only about 6 weeks into doing these programs when I was invited to the coaching opportunity. And I was like, is that a joke? Like, that's a no, there's no way. Like, there's no way. Like, massive list of reasons as to why I could not do it. So I shut it down. But it had me thinking, like, okay, these are all my reasons why I don't want to do it. But the one thing that this could do for my life is bring accountability. It's going to help me with my journey. My track record showed that, like, I never in a million years would be able to stick to a health and fitness routine. I think my husband thought when I first joined, like, okay, I'll give her 2 weeks. We'll spend a couple $100 and then we'll move on. But I knew if I put myself out there, I started sharing what it is that I was doing, it would put that pressure on me to continue to show up. So I was absolutely terrified. But ultimately, I decided to say yes to coaching for me, for selfish reasons. I had no like real plan to build a business, build a community. You know, I hoped maybe a couple people would join me, but like this truly was about me. And it was one of the scariest decisions I've ever made in my life, but easily the best decision. In terms of my own journey, like when I first started doing these programs, my hope was to lose 10 or 15 pounds. I was heading back to work after a maternity leave. None of my work clothes fit. Like I just felt so uncomfortable. So I was looking for this to be that quick fix. And 2.5 years later, I've lost 60 pounds. I didn't even think that was something that was possible for me. And even though that was the reason why I wanted to coach for that physical transformation, the things that I've gained in my life, like far surpass the weight that I've lost. And I know I can see Erica nodding her head. Like I know every coach on this call, every coach on our team would say the weight loss is really such a small part of all the beautiful things that coaching truly does bring to your life. This is a transformation business, and that does not just mean a physical transformation. That means like you growing as a human in all the ways, your mindset, how you talk to yourself, your habits, the people you spend your time with. This job, being a coach, it forces you to constantly look in the mirror and ask yourself, like, what can I do to improve? It is about so much more than just the health and fitness, and it's the greatest blessing that honestly I think anyone could have in their life. It'll change your life if you let it. If you're willing to be patient enough and show up consistently and do the things that make you feel a little bit uncomfortable. We all had the same objections. We all had the same fears. But if you allow yourself to do those things that make you feel uncomfortable and you give it some time, this business can absolutely change your life in ways that you never could have imagined. So another thing that I really didn't think would be part of my journey as a coach is the way that my decision to focus on my health and my wellness has impacted other people. Like my parents, my family, my sister, so many teachers that I work with, old friends from high school, so many people in my life have decided to make their health more of a priority simply because I was brave enough to share what I was doing and I invited them to join me. Last week, I had my 3-year-old at the grocery store. We were carrying in a bunch of stuff from the truck, and my neighbor made a comment like, "Oh, that looks heavy, bud. Like, you must be strong." And he just like looked over at our neighbor. He's like, "Yeah, I work out with my mommy," is what he said back to him. And that was like, it makes me want to cry even thinking about it. But that is him watching me for the last 2.5 years, right? I've impacted him without even really realizing it. And you know, same goes with my husband. Like when I joined, I don't think he didn't expect me to stick with this at all. And he had no interest in joining me in the very beginning, but over the last 2.5 years, he started to pick up these habits that I have been doing myself. He started to do a workout program. He just finished his first nutrition program, and he never would have done something like that if I didn't do it first. So I want to say, like, as a coach, you don't even understand the magnitude of the impact that you can have on other people just by focusing on you. Don't minimize that. Like, I don't even think we understand how big our impact truly is when we step into the coaching role. Another thing I did not expect out of this was the income potential. I assumed like the best of the best, like the rainbow unicorns of this business are the ones that made money. I was just hoping to make enough money to pay for my products. Like I had no expectations of income. And I was like only 6 months into coaching when the pandemic hit. My 5-year-old has Down syndrome. He has a compromised immune system. And my husband had to take a layoff off of work. He was off for almost 2 years. We took a massive cut in the money coming into our household, and coaching helped us fill those gaps. It allowed us to continue to live comfortably. Now that my husband's back to work this year, it's allowed me to go down to part-time teaching so I can have more time with my family, so I can have more time to do the things that I love. And I never would have had that as part of my life if I didn't just get over my fears, decide to focus on me, because you really, truly don't know what this could do to your life if you give it the chance. And we're going to talk a little bit more about the income potential in a little bit. But before I pass it off to Courtney, I really want to encourage every single one of you, when you get off this call, to ask yourself 3 questions. Could your own personal journey benefit from some kind of accountability? Doesn't have to be physical, like you growing as a human, because I promise you, coaching is going to force you to show up in ways, all the different ways of your life. Second question, would it make you proud to inspire the people in your life who you love the most to make some of these changes, to adopt some of these habits that you have as well? And could your household benefit from some kind of additional income? whether that is paying for your products, whether that is paying for groceries or daycare, or you have visions of growing a 6 or 7-figure business. If you're saying yes to one of those things or all of these things, I know for sure this would be an incredible fit for you. I'll pass it off to you, Court.
All right. Thank you so much, you three ladies. I love hearing from you. We're going to go jump into some FAQs. We're running a little bit behind time and we want to end. So actually it's back to you, Sarah, for how much does it cost to get started and to coach?
Okay. So how much does it cost? If you are not with Beachbody, I assume most of you are, but if you are not, your cost as a coach is to order a package that gives you access to our products and our programs and our nutrition plans. So if you are not a member, that is $160 US, 186 Canadian. If you are a member, to upgrade to a coach, 9 out of 10 times it costs $0. Connect with your coach to see what your individual circumstance is, but most of the time it costs absolutely nothing to upgrade to become a coach. In terms of your costs moving forward, once you do step into the coaching role, every month we pay a business service fee. It is $17.95 Canadian, $15 American. And what this does is it hires Beachbody for us to take care of all the things. We don't buy products to give customers and keep them in our garage. We don't take credit card numbers. We don't do anything. Beachbody takes care of all of our customer information. It gives us this amazing platform to keep things organized. And it's like the best $17.95 that you will spend. In addition to that, your only other expense is the products that you are consuming. So these are things that you might already be consuming as it is. It really depends on which products you choose to buy, but I would say on average between $120 or $140 Canadian is what you would spend. And this is because as coaches, we're not salespeople. We are sharing these products that we're using. We are proof of the products and programs. So in order to be able to share that authentically, we need to be consuming those ourselves. My next question that I have is, how much can you make? And honestly, there's not a right answer. There's no one answer. It really just depends on what it is that you want out of this business and the amount of work that you're willing to put in. If you want to come on in and treat this like a hobby, that's great. You could be a hobby coach. You could be a coach that works a little bit. You could be a coach that works a lot. There's space for everybody. But ultimately, hobbies cost money. Right? So the amount of money that you're going to make really comes down to your individual skill, your consistency over time, your patience. It's going to depend on how much time you have to give to this business, but really the income potential is limitless. In terms of how we make money, we make a 25% commission off of our sales. That is how most of our new coaches make the bulk of their income in the beginning stages of their business. But as you start to have clients continue with products, as you start to build a team of your own, Beachbody also pays us bonuses. So we make a 25% commission, but we also make bonuses in this business. And I will pass it off to, I think it's you, Kurt, or Aaron.
No, it's me. So I want to talk about a really, really big one because so many amazing people ask me this question all the time. Do I have to post on social media? I see so many people smiling yeah, that's me. That's exactly how I'm feeling. Okay, so let me break it down for you. At the beginning of this, I was terrified to post anything on social media. Like Andrea said, it was my kids' birthdays, and that's pretty much it. That's all that I was posting. I had a private Instagram. I didn't let just anyone follow me. I was just like everybody else. And I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. When I finally took the leap and dove into this, the very first time I ever posted a workout video of myself online, I noticed that I immediately lost followers and I was gutted. But that same exact day, I had over a dozen messages from women telling me that I inspired them to do something that day, that either they went for a walk because of me, or they got up off their butt and did a workout because of me, or what is it that I'm doing because they wanted to join me. And I was getting all of these incredible messages of inspiration that I was like, okay, haters who stopped following me, who cares about you? Look at this, day one, and I'm already leaving impact. So I realized really quickly just to flip the script in my own head and to realize that I had this opportunity and this amazing platform to show up on, to show other women and men what was possible to do when you're a busy parent. So it's honestly turned into an incredible gift. I've made friends. I've felt fulfilled. honestly, a few weeks ago, I got kicked out of my own Instagram because somebody hacked me, and I had a message from a woman saying, I just don't know what I'm going to do with my morning, because after I drop my kids off at the bus, you're the first person that I watch. And it's become like a huge part of my morning routine to keep up with you. And like, just to know that I have a part in inspiring other people daily is really incredible. But more than that, the social media aspect has kept me in line with my own accountability. I'm 35 weeks pregnant right now. And if it were not for the fact that I had to show up every single day on social media for the people watching me, I would not have had the healthy pregnancy that I've had. At this point in my last 2 pregnancies, I'd gained almost 100 pounds. And in this one, I've gained 30. And I'm really, really incredibly proud of that. And I can promise you, without social media and that component, it's really easy just to fade into the background and fall off of your journey. But when you show up and you tell people that you're going to do something and people start watching you, it convinces you to keep on going. So don't discount the magic that the social media component can have on your life. And I just want to preface that by saying, you're not alone in feeling that way. Every single person, I have yet to find a coach to walk into this business who's like, I love posting myself on social media. Like, no, it's awkward, it's uncomfortable, but that's what we're here for. And in the mentorship, we walk you through this, we show you how to do it, we bounce posts off of each other. To this day, I still send posts to my community and I'm like, what do you guys think of this? Like, what does this sound like to you? You know, I'm trying to get this message across. And so never for one moment are you in this by yourself. We have to crawl before we walk, and we do that together. And the second question that I get is, how much time do I need to commit? That's another big thing for me. We get this asked all the time. And I'm sure most of you sitting on this call are really, really hardworking business women or men, or, you know, maybe you're full-time parents and you feel totally tapped out at the end of the day. That's how I felt. I honestly was like, I do not have one single other second of the day that I can devote to anything else. When my kids go to bed, I just want to veg on the couch and binge watch a little bit of Netflix and do my thing. And the truth is, what I did when I started was I did a little bit of a time audit on how I was actually spending my time every single day, from the moment that I woke up until the moment that I went to bed. And I realized there were, in fact, these really great 20-minute pockets of time that I could sit down and focus on this business. And so that's how I started. And that's the answer to that question, is like, really, it depends what you want to make of this. You know, if you have aspirations to quit your full-time job and do this full-time, then yeah, it's going to take more work and more time than it will if you just want to do this as a hobby. But my suggestion to you would definitely be to sit down, take a good, hard, honest look at your time and see how you're spending it. For me, a lot of that was caught up in the scroll on social media, just like mindlessly scrolling my phone at the end of the day or during my lunch hour. And I realized that I could instead do something productive and work on this business. And that's exactly how I did it. So if you can sit in that chair. So yeah, what I want to say is, if you can find an hour a day, really, or even like 3 20-minute pockets of time that you can start with, then you can start to build something really, really, really beautiful. And the consistency that you do in that work, in those small pockets of work every single day, compounds over time and really can create just an amazing business. Back to you, Courtney, to finish us off.
All right. Thank you so much, Erin. Okay, the next question is, and I know we're going over, I'm so sorry, guys, we're going to wrap up in like 3 minutes. But I do want to finish these questions because I think that they're really important. Is this a pyramid scheme? No. And we added this question a couple months ago because it's a genuine concern and fear of so many people, that what network marketing is about. And it's a fear of a lot of or it's an objection that a lot of people's spouses have. And just to answer the question plainly, no, a pyramid scheme is when you pay money and do not receive a service or a product in return. So it's not a pyramid scheme. We do offer products and services in exchange for a fee. But what I do want to say to this question is welcome to 2022. Guys, when the pandemic hit, our world shifted. And people that were used to going into an office were now stuck at home. And something that network marketing was already doing really, really well was working online, was offering people a way to earn an income from anywhere they wanted. And that's why this business model has thrived over the past 2 years. Because when COVID hit, people started to really evaluate what they wanted to do with their lives, how they wanted to spend it. And when employers were saying, okay, it's time to come back into the office, and people were used to and happy with working at home, they started to reevaluate what they wanted out of their life and what their career looked like going forward. Network marketing is a beautiful way to take control of that, to build a little bit of income for yourself. And honestly, I personally have had 3 women leave their jobs, build this business up to the point where it was supporting their household enough that they could leave their job. And that is freaking powerful. I do want to share an insert income disclosure. Beachbody does not guarantee any level of income. It's all up to your own diligence, skill, and effort. The first year, and I think it's powerful to share to show you the possibilities. The first year of coaching, I made $12,000. I worked so freaking hard. I poured my heart and soul into that business in the first year. I was underpaid, like by a landslide. I should have been paid like $100,000 for the effort that I put in, and I was paid $12,000. And my husband thought that this was a flash in the pan and that it was like kind of a joke, even though he was supportive. Year 4, I made over $200,000. And that's not to say that your path will be the same. I worked really freaking hard. I still do. But it's to show you the possibility of building your own business for $160 startup. That's what network marketing has the possibility of doing in your life if you commit and put your head down and do the work. The last question is, how do I get started? As a team, as a Diamond Leadership team, we do a training together every single month. And so we have one starting in 2 days, a May mentorship group. You'll be in a pod with a group of people that are beginning this training together. It's self-led. You can do it on your own time. It's online. Beachbody actually provides this training. And what we do as a team is we have you in a chat pod, and then we also host 3 calls a month. So they're every Wednesday for 3 Wednesdays of the month. We host these calls and we go over the training. We talk about it. We talk about fears. We talk about, frequently asked questions, and we just like get in community together, because so often new coaches have the same questions, but they don't even know what those questions are sometimes. So it's just really great to be in a community with other brand new coaches, and we walk you through things like how to start sharing, how to tell, who you're going to be inviting to your first groups, like how to share authentically on social media without coming off as salesy. Like, we really encourage people to just share your journey for 30 days, build consistency, build trust with the people that are watching you, because when you start posting, people might be like, oh, here comes Sarah, another Beachbody coach, what's she doing, But then as she starts showing up and showing up and showing up, you're going to be building that trust with them. And it's going to go from like, what's she doing to like, what's she doing, And we're going to help walk you through that. So yeah, connect with whoever invited you to this call, and you can figure out how to join our mentorship, what that startup fee looks like for you, like Sarah mentioned. And, before we end this call, Jen usually, a coach on our team usually hosts this call. She always says the same thing at the end, and I really, really love it. So often when we're presented with an opportunity that's outside of the box, it's so easy to think why you shouldn't do this, why you couldn't do this, or your fears surrounding this opportunity that's so outside the box. Instead, when you get off this call, I want to challenge you to think about a couple of reasons why you would be really good at this, why this would be really cool in your life, and what this could do for you and for all the people around you. So that is it. Our apologies for going over. Thank you so much for joining with us tonight. I hope you have an incredible night, and we will share this recording for anybody who wants to share it with someone else. Bye, guys.